I live alone in a one-bedroom apartment in Northwest DC. Despite starting my career in journalism, I strayed from writing when I moved to Washington to pursue operations roles at tech companies. While the call to write has never left me, I left it. I moved into this apartment in December 2019, but hadn't any clue the window to meet other tenants and neighbors would, just weeks later, slam shut. No time for hallway hellos or casual chats by mailboxes. And with my entire family anchored in Massachusetts, it's just me here, alone in this apartment, not a human in sight. But my city dwelling is situated so close to Smithsonian National Zoological Park, I can hear the African lions roar. Luke, Naba, Shira, and Amala account for my quarantine company. The sound of a lion's roar is low and enormous and disarming. It booms and arcs, sending vibrations for miles. There's nothing like it. Even the familiar on-screen yawp of the MGM cat, keeper of the cinephile kingdom, pales in comparison. To say I didn't fully appreciate this primal backyard symphony before the onset of coronavirus would be inaccurate. It served as more of an exotic fun fact, an antidote to banal small talk, and a special morsel I had in common with my literary heroine, Nora Ephron. She wrote about the lions too when she lived in Northwest DC. Ephron wrote, "I would stare out of the window of my Washington apartment, which had a commanding view of the lions at the National Zoo. The lions at the National Zoo, oh, the metaphors of captivity that leapt to mind." I don't aim to draw the captivity parallel, however, too on the snout. I'm simply here to pay homage to my Maine neighbors for their daily concerts. Prior to the mid-March stay-at-home order, I knew them to sound their calls before sunrise and sunset when they're most active. I never once paused to ponder the Pride's lunch plans or midday musings. I wasn't home, I wasn't around during those stretches of the day. I couldn't hear their throaty tunes while out in the world. Then, on a morning in early April, those roars rolled in on the hour, every hour. By day's end, I was as tamed as Pavlov's dog and waiting by the window, neck craned in anticipation. So far, I've refrained from roaring back. Update, it did happen eventually. Though the instinct and pent-up emotion is certainly there, any attempt at call and response might seem too similar to the shrillness of my smoke detector. My human neighbors have heard this sound one too many times, I'm afraid. While I miss my family in New England terribly, I'm grateful for the pride that's unknowingly adopted me. I rely on them, my pack. I need them, and I thank them for reminding me that nature's pulse is as unwavering as it is magic. I tell them of my sense of helplessness too, the unending thoughts of suffering masses I can't make well. They know of the guilt, how the illness and quarantine crippling so many has forced me in my own isolation to answer a long-burning desire to write more, to reckon with this unattended dream that's burrowing holes in my heart. Thanks to Smithsonian's always live Lion Cam, I'm learning to better train my ear. Living room and Google Chrome browser windows open, and suddenly Luke, Naba, Shira, and Amala are on the prowl in front of my coffee table. These self-imposed lessons in zoology have duly reminded me of a theme I often return to when things get hard. To really know something is to be with it, to try and understand it, to tame it and be tamed by it. Who's roaring about what and why? Hungry? Frisky? A tad territorial? I now know such deep and distinct vocals are capable of busting up family squabbles and asserting strength, signaling warning and frustration, hunger and lust. We are all social beasts struggling to communicate something, it turns out. But when quarantine is over, I will be the only animal who gets to leave my cage. I write more now than I have in years, every day, in fact. It's the wonderful pandemic silver lining surprise I don't feel I deserve, but cling to with both hands. Springtime amid this new reality is long and unnerving and eerily bright. What's ahead will be too. But tomorrow, as the mid-afternoon sun cuts through Rock Creek Park's winding tree line, I know the lions will roar with me. Thank you.